buy the buyers, sell the borrowers, and run away from the bankruptcies. That's my investment advice in as few words as possible, because there are few people that have a lot of money. And when I say people, I mean large companies. There are many that need money right now. And then there are some that have no money and they have no credit. And you want to stay away from them. They may present or look like they're presenting good buying opportunities, but they're not. They're terminal. We are in this for a bit longer, and there are going to be more bankruptcies. There are going to be more closures, and there are going to be more people borrowing more money to stay afloat. Well, you need to realize that if they're borrowing money, that money has to be paid back. And as a result of borrowing money, because they don't have any current cash flow, they're devaluing their stock. They're devaluing their company. They're creating more liabilities, more obligations, so they aren't worth as much. But yet then there are some people, some companies, that are on a buying spree. They are going out and gobbling up smaller, not so financially sound, but good, solid ideas, and they're buying them. They're in essence recognizing that we are in a digital revolution because we have a convergence of technology with an innovation, and then to make that happen even faster because of the innovation needed as a result of the corona crisis, we need to be buying companies who are going to lead us through this, not those that might show us a slight opportunity. Now, I say that, but those of you who watch my videos regularly know that I do believe in what I call opportunity stocks, good, solid companies that have good, solid balance sheets that don't need to borrow any more money, just need to cut back on what they're doing. And then when the virus slows down, their business will come back. Prime examples of that would be American Express credit cards, Disney, and I recently made a purchase into Simon Properties. Now, I have been questioned, Simon Properties, they're a shopping center. Shopping centers are going to go away. No, shopping centers are a fixture in our communities. They're just going to change. They're going to look different. They may replace the cruise ships. We have one called the Galleria that has a Wyndham Hotel adjacent to it. Probably has, I don't know, 200-300 rooms in it. And that might be a replacement for a cruise ship. The J.C. Penney's building could become a water park. The Macy's building could become a theater where we put on plays and Broadway shows. And you could have the same atmosphere in a shopping center that you have in currently in a cruise ship. And they could draw from all over the regional area and be very functional. You wouldn't have to get on an airplane, and you wouldn't have to be on a what I call a beer can in the middle of the Caribbean with a bunch of people you don't know. So that might be something that's going to happen. The main theme of my channel has been built upon my evolution. I'm a retired financial advisor. I was one of the top three, moved between number one and number three regularly within the Ameriprise system. I sold my business in 2005 and basically started traveling the world. Then I lost my daughter to cancer, and then I was told to go find something to do. And this is where I've landed. For those of you who've been with me, you know that story. So I then went into investments and said, I need to know where we are and how we got here. And so I was cued to read this book. It's The Accidental Superpower by Peter Zion. He's come out. This one, I believe, was written probably in 16 or 17. But you will, if you read it, you will quickly recognize as you get to the back of the book that he's predicting exactly what is going to happen. It all basically tells you how our society, how our economies evolved. And then it gets very heavily into the importance of demographics, the importance of geography. It's something I had never thought of, but we are a country that 3 sides of the 4 sides of our country are exposed to oceans or the Gulf of Mexico. That gives us very good mobility, as well as gives us an easy way to protect ourselves, because it's kind of hard for people to come up and surprise us because we have water borders. So this book really set my eyes on where we are and how we got here. Then I stumbled across this book, and it's The Big Nine. And this is all about artificial intelligence and how there are 9 companies who started in the 90s as our computers, as you opened up your first Google search, started collecting the data for the last, 20 years on you. And that data is now turning into gold. Then the next book that I think you should read is that of The Future is Faster Than You Think. This will open a window for you as to what the future is going to look like and how these people who have the data are going to use it to propel themselves into the future that we have in front of us. And then when you tie that to this book that says, again, it was written, I believe, in 17, before Trump was elected to office. And he goes into the fact that says that after 2020, we are going to start to become an isolated nation because we are providing the police force for all trade, and trade is not working our way, and we're going to become isolationists. You need to read this and say, how did he know that? So I now know, I have a picture in my mind of what the next 10 years are going to look like. I have a picture that tells me that this is the same as in 1900. If I had sat down and told you that 200 people were going to climb into a pipe that had wings on it and fly from New York to Los Angeles, you would say, you're crazy. That can't happen. You can't put 200 people in a pipe with wings, and it can't happen. Well, some of the things that are going to happen in the next 10 years are going to be that drastic. I was talking to an accountant yesterday, and I was telling him we're going into a world change that my phone is going to be my ticket into a theater. It's going to be my ticket into an airplane, into restaurants, onto cruise ships if I choose to go on them, because it's going to be able to tell whomever I present it to that I have no communicable disease, that I have no issues that would cause problems in their restaurant, their airplane, whatever. That's already here. That technology is here. You just got to be willing to give up your data. Now, as I've told him, that's going to be your choice. I mean, they've got the data. They've been collecting it since 1999. It's your choice whether you want to make it available to provide you a ticket. So, with that said, let me address then directly the buyers. Who are the buyers? Who am I referring to? I'm talking about the companies that are spending their days now saying, what's out there that we need? Because the prices are cheap. Because there are some people out there that are brilliant, that have some wonderful ideas, and we need to go buy them. An example of that was just this last week. Amazon bought ZooX. ZooX is a small startup company that developed some software for autonomous automobiles. Well, their first take on it at Amazon, I'm sure, is they've got a whole bunch of vans, gray vans with a swash on the side of it, running around the United States and other countries. And it would be nice if they could get rid of the drivers and put a robot in there and deliver the packages that way. That's why they bought that company. And then they'll take it probably beyond there. Beyond that, they bought Zappo, they bought Audible, they bought Ring, they bought Kiva, they bought Whole Foods, they bought ShopBot, they bought Woot, they bought PillPack. They're on a buying spree because they want to be one of the mammoths, if they're not already. They want to stay one of the mammoths of the future. Facebook just bought Jio. I did a video on that. Jio is the largest telecommunication company in India. So Facebook wants to take everything they've learned over the last 13 years and apply it where they made a buttload of money off of 350 million people, and they want to take the same technology and the same learnings and expose it to 1.2 billion people in India. Well, that just makes sense to me. I mean, if you got something that's hot and you're selling it to a small market, well, why not just keep what you got and go sell it to a bigger market? That just seems logical. So I want to own Facebook. And they also bought WhatsApp, Instagram, Oculus. Oculus is one of my favorites. It's those goggles that the gamers wear, and those goggles are going to turn into our vacations. Those goggles are going to turn into our sporting events. Can you imagine watching the Super Bowl with your brothers and your brother-in-law, and you're all in a different city, but you're all sitting on the 50-yard line of the Super Bowl, and your ticket only costs you $50? And if you push this button on the remote, you can be on the quarterback's helmet, and you can see the ball come, and you drops her up back, and he throws it, and now you push another button, and there you see the guy catching the ball. That's sports of tomorrow. And Facebook's going to bring it to you because they got the goggles. This is what these people are doing. Google bought Motorola. I had forgotten about that. That was a long time ago. YouTube, DoubleClick, Waze, I don't know what that is. Over 200 companies Google has bought in the last 10 years. Microsoft, I had forgotten that Microsoft owned LinkedIn. Skype, GitHub, this is, I did a video on that. This is a young guy that had something relative to artificial intelligence and cloud computing, and just one of the reasons that Microsoft rocketed up in the cloud computing field was because of GitHub. Nokia, I didn't know that. Visco, IBM, Red Hat paid $34 billion for it. Treven Health, Lotus Software, and then Apple. Apple has bought so many companies. I only put down the ones that they bought since January, and that was Fleetsmith, NextVR, Voyus, Dark Sky, and X-Ray. These people are not inventing new things. They are inventing new things, but they're enhancing the business they already have. Think about that from the point of view of those of the past. Who was our largest retailer while I was growing up? Well, it was Sears and Roebuck. Where are they at now? Who was our largest discount retailer? Well, it was Kmart. Where are they at now? I worked for one of the two top photographic companies in the world, Polaroid. Where are they now? How about Eastman Kodak? Gone. If you aren't buying the buyers, and instead you're buying the borrowers because their price is so depressed, and you think that they're going to get a surge and you're going to make a quick buck, well, okay, do that. And then this weekend, go to Las Vegas because you're going to win some and you're going to lose some. But while you're in Las Vegas, look at the facility. It costs a lot of money to run that facility. So you need to know there are more losers that leave those casinos than winners. And the same is true in the stock market. If you play that game, you will lose. It's built against, you're playing against computers. Computers who know where your stop loss orders are, who can maneuver, who own so many shares, they can push. We saw them do it to Facebook. We saw them take it down 5%, let it go up a little, 5% more, let it go up a little, and then take it all. And then they came back the next day in the morning and took it down about 2% to see if there were any shares out there left that they could grab and steal from you. Didn't find it, so Facebook went back up. No, do not play that game. Invest in the future. Educate yourself. Become smarter than the guy you're competing with. Because I was a financial advisor. I was one of the most successful financial advisors in the country. But you know what my main objective was every day? To get more assets, to get more money on my books. Did I ever sit down and read books like this? No, I didn't have the time to. I created packaged portfolios that basically were based on your age and your financial position and were managed from people off in the wind. And yeah, they were the ones who told me in 2000, you need to get everybody into technology because this new .com thing is going to take over the world. Well, they were right, but they were wrong. Because the .com bubble burst. They didn't think that, hey, it's also important that these companies make money. And so we invested in PetSmart and all kinds of crazy .coms where the secretaries and the owners were making a lot of money, but we never did, and then the bubble burst. So buy the companies that are buying the other companies, and you will succeed. Okay, I put out a morning market plan. Go to bestofusinvestors.com. You'll see there, all you got to do is put in your name. I don't have to use a postage stamp, so I don't charge you anything for it. And then subscribe, become a part of our tribe. Go to the comments, share your views. Many of my videos originate from your comments. What we want here is 1 million people who are feeding information and feeding ideas so that we can be as smart as Mark, as Jeff, as Elon, as Page, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. All they really have over us is mind power. And we're as smart as they are, but we don't have their money. So if we work together and then we actually work with them, we can get rich too. Maybe not as rich as them, but as I told you in my video yesterday, this digital marketing, this digital business that I'm building right here is mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing, and you can do it too.